Beirut, then StatsBot, CareerLark, GameMonk, Rybot, and Extra presenting. And then there are 3 more that want to present. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hi, my name is Birut. I'm the founder of Gupshup. It's a bot platform that provides end-to-end solutions for dev, test, hosting, analytics, publishing, and so on. So I'm going to try something ambitious. I'll show you a few different bots in multiple channels, and let's see how far we can get through, right? So for testing, for developer testing, and in fact for demos like this, we've done something interesting. We've created a proxy bot, right, which is like a proxy server, which allows me to connect to multiple different bots and pretend to be each of those, right? It just makes the demos go faster and easier and so on. So I'm gonna go to this proxy bot and I just sort of tell it, okay, I want to proxy the Sage bot, right? So now it's gonna pretend to be the Sage bot, right? And here's, now Sage, if you know, it's like Intuit in Europe, it's an accounting software company, very dull and boring category, but they wanna make it simple, make it conversational and such. So here's an example where they say, okay, here's what I can do. So let's say if I just met somebody and I said, your Wi-Fi is not very good, and it says, okay, so who did you do this?
1 minute less.
I thought you were going to say more because the Wi-Fi is all right, so you can say, what was the purpose of the meeting? So let's say I'm going to say it's a client meeting, right? So it kind of captures the expenses. I think I can even sort of capture income, right? So if I think if you're a small business and you have lots of these events happening, then in the moment as you go through different things, you can capture it. Of course, you can track a report about these things. Now in this case, there's some backend integration they want to upsell to the actual accounting product, but the lightweight sort of income and expense capture is meant to be with a very simple and conversational interface, right? Now if you look at these
What platforms do they want to distribute this to?
So I think, global brands want to be everywhere. They don't want to leave any platforms or any users behind. Businesses may be on Slack. If you're in Asia, you may be on WhatsApp, though it's not public yet. Facebook Messenger. So I think they're agnostic. They want to be cross-platform, and I think that's where, again, Gupshup platform is very cross-platform, right? So I think there's a few other sort of features here that I won't go through for this particular bot, right? But you can report feedback. You can, I think one thing we can try is sort of, you can you can get some inspire me is something they thought would be interesting to businesses. So it just sort of motivational quotes and things like that, right? So I think let's.
Can you curse the accounting bot?
What's that?
Can you curse?
Can you curse? Well, no, I don't know.
All right.
I guess you could. Of course, users can do anything. I'll just go through some of these faster. You get the idea. But let's say here's a simple API on top of Amazon. But let's say if I want to find a book on jobs, right? So it can. In this case, it would just tell me, okay, here's the book. How much does it cost? And let's say if I just want to buy it, for now it just gives you the link to the checkout page on Amazon, but it's not, I think soon we hope to integrate it further as well. Let's do something more interesting, right? So let's say we are talking to a bank, right, which has, it's a customer support example with a little more NLP capabilities in there. So in that case, there's a couple of questions that I'm just going to skip over, but in their workflow, they want to sort of insist that the users kind of go through this, right? So I just sort of replied to yes, but, so I can say, okay, tell me about, prepaid. And this has some context in their sort of customer use cases, but.
So you're using Gupshup?
Yeah, so.
What other components in the stack?
So I think, the great thing about so all of this is built on Gupshup platform. The good thing about it is it abstracts away just about everything, right? So you, in terms of channel, the cross-platform API integrations are out of the box. Hosting and deployment is sort of one click. You don't have to worry about it. Analytics, tracking, persistence, all of that is just taken care of, right? So you literally sort of drop into the message handler. You can build it, it's in JavaScript mainly. You build your bot, and literally in less than a minute, you can build and deploy your Hello World bot across a dozen messaging channels. The point is not that you'll do that in a minute, but it just gets you started at a very high level, and then you can take it from there.
Right.
So,
Any questions from the audience for the group? Great. Okay.
Yeah,
there's one. Yes, please.
Yeah, how do you see how your bot is acting and like improve it once you have?
So actually, look, the bot and the NLP capability, to be very clear, we don't do NLP, right? But we plug into Wit.ai or any other sort of NLP platforms, and I'll show you a demo of some of the other NLP bots, right? So the point is, I think all of those are custom, and that's sort of, people may build conversational capabilities separately, but once that's built, you still need to do all of these things, channel integrations, hosting, deployment, monitoring, tracking, publishing, all of those things. So I think the point of some of these demos where we do that very quickly, and then of course the conversational thing varies by customer. And I showed a few quick simple bots, but there are more advanced ones I can show you as well.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.